We're here to talk about, the subject matter of the Office of the Attorney General now saying that they had implored or asked the Office of the Special Prosecutor to give them the dockets that they'd been working on. It hadn't been forthcoming for reasons that we've had no explanation for so far. But we've had some swift reaction so far from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and their statement again speaks volumes about where they think the situation is with Ken Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister, as well as other related matters in relation to him as a person. Those who have joined our stream, I see a couple of you. Charles Thompson has joined us from the UK. Yao February, good morning to you. Nana Kwekwa Ananse. Which of the Ananses? The folklore Ananse. Good morning to you. Agongo Roja has joined us. Please share the stream. And then Teacher Kofi Jema, you've also joined us. Foli Salom, good morning to you. And Prince Nania York, Phil Sell, wishing you all the best for the day. Please make sure you share the stream. Let's have some great conversations, and let's take a look at what we're looking at today. So we have our regulars right here who will be joining us, but again, John Nogbe, you're celebrating your birthday. Share the stream for us. John Nogbe, happy birthday to you. Wishing you all the best for the day. And well, today we're talking about some important matters, and it's apart from the special prosecutor, the fight against corruption. We already know that the Democracy Hub, that pressure group, they filed an injunction against government deportation of foreigners who are deemed to have committed acts or omissions in relation to Galamsey, so to speak. So right here in the studio, I have with the United Party, a Deputy General Secretary in the interim position, as he is, Daniel Sapong. Good morning to you, Daniel Sapong.
Good morning, brother.
Wishing you all the best for the day as well. I hope that we're going to have some great conversations.
We will.
Great,
absolutely.
Great. And then lawyer TK Jimagan, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you
I'm
doing
told
today?
that your school, Maoli School, be celebrating 75 years.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have been making noise, led by Edem Agbana on Facebook.
Yeah, we
75. Is it this weekend?
This weekend.
Okay.
And I'm inviting you to Ho.
I'll be there.
Things will be
I'll be
cool.
there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Ho this weekend. Here we come, Ho. And then also I have Dr. Josiah Koba as well. He's also a legal practitioner, and then also a traditional ruler, right?
Yes.
Good morning to you, Dr. Koba.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you. As and when we
my brother here is Ho Infantipim.
Who Infantipim?
Yeah.
Okay, you're an Infantipim old boy. Jen Trekan.
I didn't see
And
that
then
one
have you.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
And then have you.
Yes.
All right. A lot of people pick fights with you.
Maulians will not be happy with you at all.
And then also Alhaji Jibril of National Security, you're deployed to the Tema Industrial Enclave, TDC and all, Tema Oil Refinery, Edmond Combat, Tema Oil Refinery as well. Wishing you all the best. And then also Alhaji Jibril said I should greet Madam Mold Idrisu. And so Madam Betty Mold Idrisu, good morning to you from Alhaji Jibril. And Alhaji, welcome, I think, for me is delaying. But for all the things we have to tell you, please, we have a number of actions so far undertaken, and this is what the timelines have been, and we'll just take you through quickly as possible. So we'll have the timelines displayed on the screens for you. Okay, so we have by early June, the OSP secured a red notice from Interpol for Ken Ofori-Atta. Well, despite this notice, by the 2nd of June, the OSP formally triggered the extradition process through the Chief of Staff of the Presidency. The Chief of Staff then transmitted the extradition request to the AG, the central authority under the Mutual Legal Assistance Framework. And then subsequently, the 13th of June saw the Attorney General writing to the OSP confirming receipt of the request. And now we had 2 OSP officers were expected to join the prosecution team, and a copy of the investigation docket also supposed to have been made available. The OSP replied, providing the names and contact of its 2 nominees. An update that the OSP was also still organizing the case docket after a search and seizure operation at SML offices on June 10, also being communicated. And here we are today, the Attorney General following up, requesting the docket again, following the first request. By today, we're told that, look, looks like we don't have the docket at all before the Attorney General, because the 16th of October saw a leaked, inscription on social media showing official communication between the OSP, the Chief of Staff, and Attorney General, and the OSP then denying responsibility for the leak and reaffirmed that it was not frustrating the process. And here we are. Sami Darko is a legal practitioner, but also works with the Office of the Special Prosecutor and communicates for it in that same capacity. Good morning to you, Lawyer Sami Darko.
Good morning, Roland. Okay. My designation is Director for Strategy at the OSP.
Okay.
So just for the record.
That's fine. Director for Strategy.
Yes.
Now, what really is the attempt by the OSP? Is it to frustrate the Attorney General from getting his hands on the docket, or what really is the explanation?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I don't think that there is any problem between the OSP and the Attorney General's office, except those who do not understand. The issue really is also not about a docket. The OSP, as you are aware, has been working tirelessly to bring Mr. Ofori-Atta back to Ghana. And it will not do anything that will frustrate all the months of the work that it has put together. When the OSP started this work, many people had very little faith that we could even put him on red notice. And if you take a look at the timelines and the things we have done, you will notice that we have done a very diligent work in ensuring that Mr. Ofori-Atta is brought back to Ghana. And the OSP is not going to allow this process to be politicized, because Ghana has one shot to bring back Mr. Ofori-Atta. And if we allow it to be politicized, our chances diminishes. And I'll tell you why. 2 major things. The OSP is supposed to give to the Attorney General documents that the Attorney General can use to process the extradition. Now, this document is what people are referring to as docket. The OSP has not refused to give those information to the Attorney General. In fact, just September, although that information was not leaked, the Attorney General had written to the OSP in asking for even an incomplete investigation report. And the OSP has assured that it is boarding up the rest of the information, and as soon as it's ready, it will transmit to the Attorney General. So really, there is no issue. Unless you do not know the documents that are required for extradition, let me quickly go through some of them. One of the important documents you need for extradition is the arrest warrant. The OSP has the arrest warrant. And if you remember, I know that the media has not been covering it. Since we got the arrest warrant against Mr. Ofori-Atta, he has sued the OSP about 7-8 times. And the OSP since June has been battling these lawsuits alone in court, just to ensure that the arrest warrants remain valid. The next thing you will need is an Interpol red notice. The OSP worked tirelessly and secured the Interpol red notice. And the red notice is alive as we speak. Even as I talk to you, Interpol International has written to us to justify why it should continue to remain on it. And that is routine. Almost every 6 months, you have to justify why a person should continue to be on red notice. And people don't know the meaning of red notice. It means that the OSP has effectively restricted the movement of Mr. Ofori-Atta. Hitherto, we have records that shows that he was crisscrossing America and London. But currently, as we speak, he cannot do that. And we know that he's currently somewhere in Maryland, Virginia, Washington. And so those who think nothing has been done, a lot has been done to even restrict his movement to one particular place. Now, there are other things you need to add to the extradition briefing, which is the offenses you have charged the person with. And then there's something called constitutionality. You need to justify whether the offenses here is the same as there. And then the most important thing that the American court will look at is the issue of the political character, political bias, witch hunt. You need to justify that the person is not being persecuted but being prosecuted for stated offenses. It has nothing to do with politics. That is the most important one. And these other ones is the AG that will be justifying it. What we need to provide to the AG, we have majority of them. The only thing left is the fact that we said that we have discovered a lot, volumes of documents that we were analyzing to board up our charges against Mr. Ofori-Atta. And so we will finish with it. And these documents were the documents we retrieved from SML's office when we searched the SML's office. And we're saying that we need time to analyze these documents and add it. So it's not like I said, we have not given the Attorney General any briefing or any information that he needs to do it. We are only adding to it. And that cannot be construed to mean a delay or that we don't want to give anything to the Attorney General. So those who don't understand will always come and talk it. But it's not an issue of docket. It's an issue of our information.
Sami Darko, are you saying the Attorney General, Dominic Ayene, as well as his deputy, Sremsai, do not understand the processes you've explained? Is that the position of your office?
That is your position. And it's born out of a misunderstanding of what I've just explained to you. Because if you listen to me carefully, you notice that I've told you that whatever is being requested for is being given. So there is nothing like not being given. And let me tell you something. Whoever leaked this information wanted what we are doing now. That's what the person wanted. Because you see, it's not all correspondence that was even leaked. If the person had added the other ones to it, there will be no need for this discussion. The storm in the teacup, because we have moved past where the release was up to. But what I'm telling you now is that it's not an issue about the docket. It's an issue about OSP putting documents in a file and giving it to the Attorney General to complete. Let me tell you something. Mr. Ofori-Atta is not the only one that OSP is investigating the SML matter. We have about 22 suspects.
Are they on red notice?
How can someone be on red notice if they are in Ghana? So if you allow me to explain to you.
We are talking in this instant case relating to Ken Ofori-Atta, for which we've had a reaction from the Deputy Attorney General. And your explanation is that there seemed to be some miscommunication or a misunderstanding. And I'm saying that is that the official position of the OSP?
Not said that.
Or do you not think that Sremsai, who is a Deputy Attorney General, doesn't understand the processes? Because in that interaction, this is what he says, Sami Darko. I want to make it clear. That's the office of the Attorney General, are the only authority that can initiate and make an extradition request. But we need the investigative docket from the OSP to do so. And he continues, Sami Darko, that as of today, we still don't have the docket, despite sending several requests, including written formal letters and demands. What are you saying, Sami Darko?
And that's what I've told you. You don't shout. Just take your time and listen.
I'm not shouting. I'm in my studio. I'm surprised.
I know that your listeners and viewers will understand what I'm telling you. What the Deputy Attorney General said is what we have clarified for you. For instance, there has not been any several demand on us. You were just showing
Are you saying he's lying? Because this is a direct quote from the interview.
You were showing your viewers the various correspondence. So you noticed that the correspondence started in June. And you have given them the chronology. And I told you, said the last correspondence that came was in September. Is it part of the leak? You notice it's not part of the leak. And I'm bringing attention to what is happening and says that There is nothing like OSP is refusing to give information. It is an issue about OSP completing a particular type of work and to supply that information. And I told you also that when we talk about a docket, it's a bigger file, but it's not the bigger file that we have to give to the Attorney General. We have to select the information that the Attorney General requires to do the extradition on Ken Ofori-Atta. And that, I just told you that majority of them we have procured already, which is the red notice, arrest warrant, and I said we are now boarding up the offenses and the charges that he will need to add. The rest of them is justification, which the Attorney General will have to do.
Very well.
We have even supplied to the Attorney General the names of our officers who are going to go to the United States to do the extradition. We have done all these. All I'm telling you and the viewers and the listeners is that OSP is not going to allow this matter to be politicized, because when we do that, then we are helping Mr. Ofori-Atta not to come to Ghana. Because once you make it political, then it's going to be difficult in an American court to convince them that this issue is not about politics.
Okay.
And remember, he has access to all the information that has been leaked. And let me talk briefly about the leak and see why every meaning Ghanaian must condemn it. You may be happy that the insufficient leak that creates an impression as if there is a banter between the AG and the OSP, or that the OSP is unwilling. Because there's no way in the leak where the OSP has said, I won't give you any information. How can the OSP that has fought effortlessly to ensure that Mr. Ofori-Atta is brought down to face justice be the one that will frustrate the process?
Okay.
We are rather even in a hurry.
So, how then would you describe the position, if not the comments from the Attorney General, of course, from the Deputy Attorney General, in reaction to how it looks like, based on my own description, sluggish the OSP seem to be riding this whole journey, so to speak?
Let me explain to you again. As we speak, the OSP is the only independent law enforcement agency that is investigating Mr. Ofori-Atta, that has placed him on Interpol red notice. And that is the body that, when he is brought down to Ghana, is going to prosecute him. The OSP has worked tirelessly, even when many people doubted it, including media personnel, when we had said that Mr. Ofori-Atta was just playing hide and seek and did not want to come to Ghana. We have come too far to botch our own operation. We are a specialized institution. We are very focused and we know exactly what we are doing.
Okay.
The AG's role in this exercise is to help.
I'll rephrase my question. I don't know whether your response is the response to my question. Again, how would you react to the position of the Attorney General following the comments by the Deputy Attorney General that it looks like the back and forth from the OSP seem to be slowing down the process to bring him right here into our jurisdiction?
There is no back and forth between AG and the OSP.
So how would you react to Sremsai's position?
It is a joint work, and we are working tirelessly to ensure that the right information is boxed up and given to the Attorney General, and that the OSP will do, because OSP has come too far to let it go. What OSP needs now is for the Attorney General to assist the OSP to complete the extradition that will bring Mr. Ofori-Atta down to Ghana, for the OSP to prosecute Mr. Ofori-Atta.
All right.
Remember, this is not
the politics that you talk about, the politics that you say that is being inferenced into this subject matter. Is it in reference to perhaps the comments by Sremsai, the Deputy Attorney General?
The comment is to anyone whose motive is to make it political, to make it easier for Mr. Ofori-Atta not to be brought back to Ghana.
Samidaku, who do you refer to?
What matters is that this matter cannot be politicized, because the OSP.
And I'm asking you, who is politicizing the subject matter?
Body. When the matter becomes political, it simply means that it's been put out in the public domain and being discussed as if there is a fight between the OSP and the Attorney General. And I'm telling you now that that does not augur well for Ghana's chance to bring Mr. Ofori-Atta back to Ghana. Remember, Mr. Ofori-Atta is going to fight this in the U.S. court. Extradition is a court process in another country. And any document
I've asked you several
that
times. Are you
allows him,
saying that the Attorney General, Dominic Ayeni, as well as his deputy, Sremsai, don't know this? That's all I'm asking.
why are you now revealing to me that they might have leaked it?
I don't know.
No.
I don't.
Talking
Sami
about
Daku, I think we've
political.
ended. We're done with the conversation. Okay. Thank you very much, Sami Daku. Sami Daku is Director for Strategy, the Office of the Special Prosecutor. But so straight away, that's where we zoom into the conversation. And TK, would you say that perhaps the comments by the Deputy Attorney General, Sremsai, seem to have riled up or incurred the wrath of the Office of the Special Prosecutor? Especially in response by Sami Daku, the Director for Strategy of the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Good morning to your viewers, and good morning to my good people of Hohwe. Chaku, good morning. Look, Sami started by saying a lot of people were skeptical about their activities and whether they will achieve success. That alone should tell us that within they have a problem. Luckily, he said his position is...
He says they don't.
No, they have. If they don't have problem, what the hell is he telling us that a lot of people are skeptical, including media men? Or I didn't hear him well.
You're right.
Yes, he said including media men are skeptical. Now, he says he's the Director of Strategy. Is that a strategy he has advised us to do? Look, for the AG or the Deputy AG to have come out to tell us this, it means there's a problem. Because both Dr. Sremsai and Dr. Ayine are good guys who will go to the hilt and do the job. The OSP knows very well they cannot initiate extradition proceedings. For you to extradite somebody from the US, there has to be a probable cause. It takes a lot of steps for us to get there. Now, he's talking about people reading politics into it. You ask him several times, who will read politics into this? He couldn't tell us. Just because the message comes into the public domain, he should give us a break. Look, they should, if he's the Director of Strategy, they should just go and conduct a research and see the public perception of how they realize how they're handling this Ofori-Atta story. Now, there is no way we will agree or admit the fact that they are doing a very good job with this Ofori-Atta strategy. No. He talks about the fact that the docket is a bigger file. What is he talking about? Docket is a bigger file. What if Ofori-Atta arrives in Ghana today, they arrest, and they say make disclosures? They are going to take this number of years to disclose what they brought him to court for. No, please, give us a break. Do the job. Get them. He also tells us that they have sent their personnel to AG. The AG says, give us your personnel and the docket. And you send the personnel without the docket. What are you trying to say? Please.
His justification, and he's explained that these are processes, and so it's only a back and forth. It's not as if there's bad blood, so to speak. That is based on my own reading, and then the public opinion interrogation of what the responses were from Sremsai to be a certain bad blood between the two institutions.
You see, does it mean that they were not ready when they wanted to initiate the extradition process? They should have been ready. Because by the time you are talking to the AG to say that we want to bring this guy back, you must have all your things in place. Is it that they don't know the processes that lead to the extradition of somebody from the US, that the AG has to ask you, give me this, give me that, before you bring the person in? You see, I don't know whether, I know Sami Daku is a journalist, I think so. But
yes, he's a trained journalist.
He's a trained journalist. But
practice
yes,
also
but I think
widely.
I think at this stage, he's not communicating well. Because there is some level of apprehension with the public to say, this guy is serious. This to and fro with Ofori-Atta has taken so long that everybody is getting impatient. Look, my venerable senior Chachichi Kata, he was way away in outside Ghana when they said they wanted him. He came in and faced prosecution. So if Ofori-Atta has nothing to hide, why is he away? In any case, you are saying that if the thing becomes political, was Ofori-Atta a revenue minister or something? He was a politician.
Yeah, but he says that,
yes,
especially in this instance case when you have to deal with extradition.
Yes.
Where we
He's
know
not
that
being brought
where we know that the processes are you have to inform another country for
yes,
them to ensure that they trigger the processes of using their law enforcement agencies to bring that
good,
person.
Good.
The excuse could be given by that person that it is because I'm
they
a
want
top
to do
politician, and
let's
then I'm being
let's go this way.
targeted
Let's
for
go this way. Let's go this
persecution,
way.
etc. So Sami says the Office of the Special Prosecutor wants to make sure that that is not construed to be the subject.
No, you see, when you want to extradite somebody from the U.S., you need to submit arrest warrants, you need to submit charge sheets, you need to submit all that.
Very well.
Then for the Justice Department to go through it, the Justice Department satisfied that there's a probable cause, will send it to a magistrate. The magistrate will go through it and see if there is a probable cause. Then they will submit to the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State will okay it. If the Secretary of State okays it, then they will get the marshals to bring the person in. So there is a long chain. That is the very reason why the AG is saying, give us what you have. Let us see if these things meet the criteria for somebody to determine that there is a probable cause before you bring the person. Now you are there shouting on top of your, on the rooftop that we want the person brought in. Give us, look, they have admitted they don't have the mandate to initiate the process. The person who has the mandate says, give me this. And you think that Honorable Dr. Semshai would come on national TV and make such an accusation just for the sake of it?
You call it accusation?
Yes. I mean, how would he say such a thing without any justification? Look, Honorable Justice is such a fine gentleman just to throw away words like that. No, there is something. They don't appear to be cooperating with the AG. Let somebody tell them in their face. They're not cooperating. Get the docket in, you send your personnel without the docket. Now you are telling us the docket is almost ready. What did you have when you wrote to the Office of the President? In any case, is it the Office of the President that will initiate the extradition process? Senior, perhaps I am wrong. Is it the Office of the President that you wrote to the Chief of Staff, while the AG is the one who will initiate? So the reply has to come to the AG for the AG to start it. Is it that the special prosecutor doesn't know? Please, they are toying with this kind of Ofori-Atta thing too much, but somehow justice will be done.
And so far, your observations, the opinion out there is that the OSP is being slow in this whole process. But Sami also says, based on explanation, it's by procedure. And those procedures so far are going according to plan.
Thank you, Roland, and good morning to my friends. Roland, at least let it be on record that I'm not a lawyer. We will try to do justice with the help of the lawyers here. So if we're mistaken, then you try to correct us. Sami Darko and his boss are not being fair and honest to Ghanaians.
You mean the Office of the Special Prosecutor? Let's not make it personal.
Of course, I mean, he's occupying an office. There is a person occupying the office. He spoke on behalf of the office. And he's not being an honest gentleman. What he's doing is more of an institutional politicking. You know, trying to...
Institutional politicking?
Yes. Or no, so he should look for the meaning. He's doing institutional politicking, trying to do some dummy playing, you know, draft, put it here and I put it there, just for the justification. You remember, on one of the shows, on Tuesday, 3rd June, this year, I was here, right here. I was seated here close to Dog, and I said that there is a relationship between the OSP and the Ofori-Atta family. And until that is dealt with, it's going to be difficult for the OSP to do what
I don't understand. You're raising this as an allegation again? You did that the first time?
Of course, and I've said it, he has not denied it. There is a relationship between the two. And until that is dealt with, there is no way, what's his name, Ajabin, would have the balls to be able to execute the mandate
you have the balls?
Ghanaians have given him. You see, it is hard time he understands that Ghanaians have given him a job to do. No matter the relationship he has, even if Ofori-Atta is the father, he has to ensure that the procedures are followed. You understand me? And Roland, this case is a test of Ghana's commitment to equal justice.
How so?
Do you think, in any case, that if I were Ofori-Atta, I wouldn't have been brought to Ghana by now?
I don't understand. Ofori-Atta.
If
And Nanaya.
between Ofori-Atta and
Nanaya
Nana,
Sapon
Yes.
of Movement for Change 10
No,
UP.
UP plus.
UP.
United Party.
You're saying,
And
is it because of the reputation or
so
the
that's what I'm saying.
relationship?
It is a test of Ghana's commitment to equal justice. Because if it was an ordinary person like me, it wouldn't have taken the OSP a week to bring me to town. You understand? And Sami Dakun comes on national television and tries to throw jargons and speak English for who to understand.
He's making justifications.
What justification? We put him there, we use taxpayers' money to pay him to work. And you are coming to speak English to us. Now, this is very fundamental. There are two things involved. Extradition, and when we have gone beyond and everything occurs, we can even, our laws allow for trial in absentia.
Yes, but...
Am I right?
Yes.
So it's a step. I mean, there are steps you would follow. So, under no circumstance should the OSP come to tell us that. And I was asking you, I think there is a case. As when they said they don't know his whereabouts, he contradicted himself. At the end of the day, he said the red alert now has restricted his movement, and he used to go between London, Maryland and London. And when he realized himself that he was being caught in his own trap, he said now his movement is restricted within Maryland. It means he knows where he is. Hmm? You are telling me he's contesting you in court. Lawyer, you have been a lecturer in the law school. Can anybody file a suit without an address?
No.
There is an authority in Supreme Court here, NIB versus the Standard Offshore. You cannot. So they know the exact foreign address of Ken Ofori-Atta. And if they would allow and give what the Attorney General is seeking for him to process the extradition, whatever, then they definitely Ken will be brought home. You cannot tell me you've gone to file. He's contesting you in court through his lawyers, yet you don't know where he is. That's a blatant lie. You don't look Ghanaians in the face and then...
You're making strong inference and allegations.
Why is it that any time...
That he knows that there is in Maryland. Cases are filed, there are addresses, and so they know where he is?
Of course. I'm not a lawyer, I'm saying that. You cannot file. And that's why the lawyers are here and I'm asking the question. Is it possible for you to file without an address? They always put specific address there. And they are always very specific. And I'm saying that there was a case between NIB and Standard Offshore. I am not so much into these legal things. But what I know is that one of the reasons why the ruling that was given was that the people were not able to provide the foreign addresses. So if Ken is battling you in courts, it means you know his whereabouts. In any case, has he not been responding? If his lawyers have been responding to you, then the lawyer should be able to help us to identify where he is. And you come to tell Ghanaians that we do not understand. Are the constitutions and the Extradition Act written in Greek? It should be fair to our intelligence. We can read and understand. I mean, being a strategist doesn't put you above any Ghanaian. The question you asked him, which he was not able to answer, was as simple. Does that presuppose that the Deputy Attorney General is lying? Was he able to answer it?
Say that again. I wasn't following.
You posed a question at him that the Deputy Attorney General addressed or gave an interview or did an interview, and he stated that the OSP is the one delaying giving them the docket or refusing giving them the docket to continue the process. And you asked him, does that mean the explanation he is given, is he presupposing that the Deputy Attorney General is lying? Was he able to answer you?
No.
So you come early Tuesday morning on a national television where our monies are used to pay you.
Oh.
And you would come and lie. No, but that is true.
But we all of us are paying them. They are not paying me.
Why, you think I don't pay taxes?
Yeah, but that's not how you talk to Public
Director
officials
of strategy.
Am I a foreigner? No, I'm asking. Roland, am I a
So
foreigner?
you're speaking like a citizen.
I'm a citizen, not a spectator. It's as simple as that. You see, we need to be able to deal with this issue of corruption without thinking of whatever that happens between friendship or relationships. Okay? When we did this great transformational plan, you remember on the pillars, one of the pillars, which has to do with governance, all right, the clusters, which has to do with governance, we had a pillar in it that dealt with corruption. We had stated that we need to be able...
Stay there, 2023 GTP, stay there. Samid Ako is back on the line. Samid Ako, Director for Strategy, OSP. You wanted to have a reaction to what Nani Asapon? Or...
No, not a reaction,
Okay.
just a clarification.
Okay, please.
And I'll
please
do it
clarify.
quickly. Yeah, and I'll do it quickly. I mean, when you are in public service, there are a number of things that will happen. But I'm happy he said that he's not a lawyer. The one I wanted to correct was that I said that Interpol Red Notice restricts a person's movement. And I've used that. We know from intelligence that he used to move from America to London. But once you issue a red notice, he's unable to move and that he's confined in America. And I said the area we know he is. The reason why we have requested extradition to US and not to say UK is because we know he's in US. So it's not an issue now. We are not dealing with whether we know where he is or where he's not, except that the Interpol in that country is the one that will effect the arrest with us when extradition goes through. The second one he said that I want to clarify is the part that he talks about the fact that if Mr. Ofori-Atta has been battling OSP in court, it means we know his address. Just for information, yes, Mr. Ofori-Atta has filed over 8 suits challenging the arrest warrant that we secured, which the Attorney General is going to use, including the red notice, which the Attorney General is going to use. But in Ghana, he uses his Ghanaian address, which is allowed by law. And his lawyers are the ones that represent him in court, which is also allowed by law, because those processes are civil actions, human rights actions that he's taking to block it. So let me reiterate the point that the OSP is committed to bringing Mr. Ofori-Atta back. And they said that I was not able to answer a question as whether the stream side was accurate or inaccurate. I'm not the one to say it's accurate or inaccurate. I'm providing you with the other version which you have not heard. And I've said that even with the leak, there's a third letter that they did not put out there. And that third letter would have dispelled all these. What you are saying is that the fact that we said we have uncovered fresh evidence when we searched the offices of SML, and that we need to add up so that we're able to get more charges. Does not mean that the OSP is delaying or refusing to give the information that the AG needs. Okay. And it also does not invalidate the fact that Mr. Shem Sai says that, or Dr. Sai says that the OSP has not given him the docket. Yes, we are saying that the docket will go to him. And in this case, I said I want to say a docket. We mean all the relevant information that is needed to tender in an American court. That is what we are giving to them. And I have also said that it does not mean that we have not given them some. I told you that we are in the stage of the offensive requirements, which we just want to add a few to it and then send to him. So there is no delay. There is no confusion. There is no fight between us. The fact that he has come up because journalists have gone to him to ask where the stage you have reached. And OSP has been briefing Ghanaians all this while. When we talk, you say we talk too much. When we keep quiet to work, you say we are conniving with people. Okay. It's preposterous to even say that the special prosecutor has a relationship and then you also say you can bring somebody down in 1 week. Ferdinand Tamaklo has been convicted. She's supposed to be brought down to Ghana to serve just a sentence. Conviction is done. Do you know why she's not here? let's go back to the issue of political bias when you are getting extradition in the U.S. court. It's a major requirement. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that we think people don't know or we are disrespecting people or anything. All we are saying that there is no bad blood. It's a process, and we will get there. We have not delayed. Okay. I don't know who even says we have delayed. This has been a very difficult proceedings, and we have been working diligently to get this done. People and men at OSP have been working.
You said that already. Thank you for the clarification. Though, again, the question, are you saying that the Deputy Attorney General then doesn't know the processes, as a result is lying? The
Deputy Attorney General knows the processes. And the processes are the same processes I'm telling you.
So why would he say that in that interview?
He will say that in the interview because journalists have gone to him to ask him where in the stage of the extradition have you reached. And he has said that, well, I'm waiting for a docket from the OSP. And I'm saying that the docket he's talking about is the other information we need to board up and give it to the office. Okay. And that we are going to do. It's not that something that, it's not a question about whether we will do. It's a question about the time. And I just explained to you that the reason why there is some form of delay, as people call it, is because we have volumes of documents that is crucial to the case that we uncovered recently. And we want to add that up.
Right.
It doesn't, yes, I understand people.
Is the Office of the Special Prosecutor worried, Samidako, about the public reputation it seems to be garnering these days, that it's a bit slow on some cases and very tortoise-like on others?
That is very important because it reminds me of another thing I wanted to clarify. When I said that people did not trust us, I meant in the beginning. Some people were saying we were unconscionable, the man is sick and we are dragging him. That's what I meant. And I said that even the media some members of the media were saying that, including you, Roland, you asked us that, but the man is sick. Why I told you want him down in Ghana? And now that we have gone so far, and that he has to come down, now people are saying we are the ones that are delaying and we don't want to do it and all that. But the point I'm making, I forgot even the question that you asked. But the point I'm making
but that's okay. Let's keep the question. Thank you very much. Director of Strategy, Samidako, helping us with the clarification. I asked a question, you didn't answer though, but no problem at all. Also good.
No. I will answer.
That's fine. Samidako, thank you very much. The clarification has been made. Let's forget the question. I retract. Now, so the subject matter that he clarified was that
confused you.
No. The subject matter that he clarified was the fact that they are not slow and that they are not deliberate actions on their part to make sure.
From June, you have been gathering, or not gathering, but you are trying to put papers in a file called a docket from June.
Yeah.
June, July,
and now they have
August, September, October.
The lawyer said the wheels of justice grind.
Not this type of.
Nobody is telling them to rush.
2 lawyers here.
Nobody is telling them to rush. But when you have asked him a question, he himself is telling us, without you even asking him, sorry, that Ghanaians from the beginning didn't trust them. We still don't trust them. When it comes to OSP and Ofori-Atta, that should be established. It is not as if, and I was saying that, with what is happening, Roland, Ghanaians should agree with us, saying that we need to introduce the anti-corruption czar in this country.
But we have the OSP.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which OSP?
Anti-corruption ombudsman again. We have.
You see,
OSP.
The problem we are having is that there are so many institutions trying to deal with corruption. If you're able to synchronize all of these institutions, you will not come and tell me OSP is refusing to give you a docket. And you won't come and tell me that you are using 7 months to try to gather the papers you yourself have investigated and they are with you, trying to put them in. In any case, are they those who are supposed to trigger? Or do we need all of those new, what is the name he said that the new findings?
Yes, new evidence.
The new evidence. Do they need all of that to be able to trigger the process? What you have already, what we have been dealing with for months. That which you stood on to put him on red alert. Is it not enough for you to trigger the process? Is it not enough? So does that mean that if tomorrow they are able to uncover new evidence and new findings, we would have to hold on the process again and add up? Well, I'm not a lawyer. You are lawyers. Is that what's supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Because you had some evidence, some findings. It was on those findings that you triggered this red alert whole thing with Interpol.
Yeah, but he says that
Is it not strong enough?
It's a bit tactful, and the processes need to be methodical, so to speak.
The Attorney General's office,
Because public opinion, when it's rife and seems to create a certain opinion that the political establishment wants to come at you, persecute you, it could trigger perhaps a certain feedback from the host country that this guy going to Ghana will fall in trouble as a result of that.
One of the elements or one of the legs extradition stands on is that whatever you are being accused of, all right, should be punishable in your home country and in the country in which you are. Please, does the US, whichever state he is, do they pamper corruption?
No.
Dr. Koba, what do you make of the responses so far? And perhaps could the Deputy Attorney General have responded a bit better or perhaps more diplomatically for the way he did in response to the question on the OSP in the subject matter of Ofori-Atta?
Roland, before I begin, let me greet Oketechi Kome, my Omahin of the Commander traditionally. Roland, it appears that since the establishment of the OSP, we still have some distance to cover to get the OSP and the AG's office to work seamlessly.
Really?
Yeah.
Article 88 says that the OSP derives its powers from...
Yes,
so,
but
and then
you look at the history of the office.
Martin Amidu...
From, there seems to be all this, tension that exists in one form or the other that we need to deal with, especially if we're going to fight corruption and fight it successfully with our institutions. Why is the OSP, one might ask, why is the OSP so defensive? How can a complaint, from the Deputy Attorney General in terms of information to journalists that we are yet to receive some information, how can it trigger such a response? Look at the response we are getting this morning. I'm sitting here, I'm flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted?
Yes.
Such a big word?
Yes, he got it from my former school.
Is it necessary? Is there a way that the OSP's office and the AG's office can work seamlessly behind the scenes so that those of us who are expecting results from them will not even know if there is a disagreement between them? I sense, listening to the Director of Strategy, I sense a little bit of paranoia.
Paranoia?
Yeah.
Flabbergasted paranoia?
I can recall, I'm sure you will remember, the OSP's press conference.
The one he sang?
Which one? Kwanuma?
Akwanuma. Yeah. I think there is still a bit of that going on. And I think that both his office should seek some rapprochement with other agencies that are in the fight, to counter corruption we need them to work together. I think that we need to get over this paranoia. I think if you look at the history of the office, OSP's office, as I've said, we need to get over this history of what I think is suspicions and suspicions, especially with politics, using its own words, and get the OSP and the AG to work together. After all, we're told, the law, when you look at the law, OSP derives its powers from the AG's office. And it is impossible for him to work well without that synergy working well. This looks to me too much like Ghana washing its dirty linen in the clear view of the whole world. We don't need to do that.
You're saying this could have been avoided?
Yes. Especially if
OSP represented by Sami says these are just processes.
Especially if the OSP is concerned about perceptions of politicization. If you are really concerned about it, you don't get on TV and talk about politicization. The OSP should call the Attorney General, like two public servants that we are paying, and talk about getting this thing done so that we can bring the Honorable ex-minister down to face trial. I think the OSP, the office is paranoid, and it has to deal with that paranoia. I don't know who can help them, but there seems to be a certain knee-jerk reaction to any criticism of any sort that comes from anyone. But this is the era of Kebi Mamin Kebi. Citizens will express their view. Journalists will question you. Your fellow public officers may not understand what you're doing and will raise questions. Those of us, analysts, academics, and will ask you questions.
Interrogate.
And you have to answer them without getting bent out of shape, bent all over the place. I think that we need a new page. The OSP should use this example of disagreement with other officers, sit down with the AG and come to some working relationship that will, speed up this process and get the former minister here.
Latike, how then do we make sure that the groundswell of public opinion, which seems to be going against the OSP, in terms of its aesthetic or fiscal,
or the optics,
what the optics say, and in terms of its commitment to be able to see through each of the cases so far it has publicly come to communicate to the stakeholders that this is what them we're going to, because some of them, for example, Cecilia Dapa, they were very categorical in terms, and then, so is it because of the history they've had in terms of how they've looked at other past cases, and then also how they started this, and it looked like they now seem to be in a very lukewarm jacket?
You captured it nicely. It's both the history and the present behavior. Even as Sami Daku is talking to us today, the docket is still not with the AG. And my question I asked two questions. Why did they write to the Chief Justice in the Chief of Staff in the first place?
Maybe it's a matter of procedure.
No. The Chief of Staff is not the one to initiate the extradition proceedings. It's the Attorney General. So why do you go there? That is number one. Number two, since the Attorney General made the request, why do you delay in submitting those requests to him? Is the material so voluminous? Number three, as Senior has said, why are you responding to us politically when you are afraid that the whole matter will become a political issue. You see, as lawyers, there are certain gymnastics you can play to delay processes and to delay proceedings. Is that one of those that they are employing? The OSP currently need to move beyond the talk. I would have expected that this morning, before Sami Dako is talking to you, he would have said, we have dispatched the docket to AG and he should be with the AG in the next 10 minutes. How voluminous is it? If it is so voluminous, get your people, distribute the material, go photocopy in all the photocopy shops in Accra and get it sent to the AG. Since the Honorable Dr. Sremsai made the pronouncement on national TV, it has taken a couple of days. Yet the material has not been received. And the question I'm asking is, how come, assuming that the Ken Ofori-Atta arrives today, you take him to court tomorrow, and they say make disclosures, are you going to tell the court that give us enough time? Then what the hell, on what grounds were you bringing him to trial for? There should be some reason. Okay, I am of the view, and maybe my view will be very little, that the Attorney General must initiate a parallel investigation into the activities of Ken Ofori-Atta, not necessarily corruption related as the OSP is doing, a different one. That might be the reason why the AG might say, keep your file and whatever you are doing. We are starting ours. When they get enough grounds, and they can request for his presence in Ghana here. But until the OSP comes forward to tell us that what we are doing, we have achieved the thing we promised Ghanaians. We have achieved what the Attorney General has asked us to do. Until that is done, people will rely on their past history. Look, if you listen to all the media houses yesterday, I don't think anybody will be under any illusion to say that a number of people are calling for the scrapping of even the office of the special prosecutor. Indeed, my brother here has said it, that that office appears not to be fit for purpose because it is taking so long. How many cases can Sami Dako come forward today and say high-profile cases, corruption-related, that they will pump their chest up to say that 1, 2, 3, we have been able to secure conviction? How many? And if, look, the last time I appeared here, I said that the last press conference by the OSP, he named a lot of cases. I've written them down. The next time he is coming to address us, we will move the goalpost to see when you started, where have you reached in these cases? Until then, it's just talk. Finally, let me say, when the OSP met the press the last time and sang that Ankwanuma song, what was the issue why he was singing? Did he include one of the issues with Ken Ofori-Atta? If it was, why then they didn't arrest Ofori-Atta then and allow Ofori-Atta to go? Finally, if they are really serious, they could have gone to US and sit down with Ofori-Atta and take his statement under caution over there. Then that way he is aware that a process has begun against him. But to be here and just be doing it, telling us journalistic vibes every day, will not achieve anything.
Where do we go from here? What should be the expectation quickly between the two institutions?
The Deputy Attorney General has stated what they want. They are the main institution that has the powers to be able to trigger what it is now. And so what we are saying is that they have to take action. Roland, extradition, in my view, begins where probably domestic law ends. Am I right? When the law of justice would have to cross border.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And where the law would have to cross border to ensure that no one is above the law.
Yeah.
Because if this issue with Ken Ofori-Atta is not dealt with, anybody at all can be involved in an act of corruption, whether true or not, and cross border and just be there. You understand me? And Sami Dako should give us a break trying to bring in somebody who has undergone trial in absentia and has been convicted. What is the lady's name? Sedinam. What has Sedinam's issue got to do with this? This is what Ghanaians are calling out for. The man has served as finance minister. We say we have issues. Our money is with him. He should bring our money. Is that not what we are asking?
That's all.
Bring him home. Let him come and answer questions. Simplicity. You have done your work.
No,
another person has to continue. You understand me? You say you have done yours. Another man has to continue his. Give him that which he needs to be able to continue, for him to continue. But for you to come and always addressing media and talking to Ghanaians
but you cannot take that away from
and that is one thing. I'm sorry to say. I always tell people who have organizations and are building businesses and other things that if you when we go out, don't beat me. If you want to take concrete decisions and move forward, you don't surround your board table with journalists and lawyers. They'll be arguing over words.
Yeah.
What he came to do was just arguing over words.
Oh, no. He's responding on behalf of his organization. And I think Sami is well primed. He's a legal practitioner.
That's what I'm saying.
A lawyer.
That if you don't want to go forward in your
for a number of
institution,
years.
So
actually correspondent for the BBC. So he's right.
In the group, he's talking about lawyers and journalists.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a journalist. But he has the two. Oh, you didn't know? Why who be me free by
yeah. Okay. Until what say? I mean, they want the docket. So send it. No complaints.
No complaints.
So how do we resolve? The two institutions should work together?
Yeah, I think
quickly,
so.
just in 2 minutes.
I think I don't know the OSP. I mean the SP.
The person?
The person.
Oh, he was
I've
he was
never.
a part-time-
I've never met him. But
Shadrach, bring his Kwanuma video so that you see.
I've never met him, but I've read a lot about him.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about him.
Yeah.
I have read quite a bit about, Dr. Ine and Dr. Srem. These are good people, solid people. They should sit together and deal with this. And because we need the AG's office and the OSP to work together for us to achieve results in our fight against corruption. What is happening is just not good enough.
Right.
And and I think that, look, the history of OSP needs to be looked at. They have to sit in their staff meetings and think about the way they are perceived out there from the beginning, from its inception. And I think they need to do something about the history of the office and how it is resulting in all these public perceptions, which in effect is making them paranoid, in my opinion.
They are causing financial loss to the state.
Paranoid.
Yes.
Nobody
But Roland, yes, we need to be able to deal with the issues of relationship we have with people when we occupy state offices that demands us to be accountable. You understand? If you are given a mandate, you should be able to separate your statesmanship, all right, from your relationship with others. If you need to be a statesman, be a statesman. And I still insist, and I say that, in my view, with what OSP is doing, he's making me believe that indeed there is an extraordinary relationship between the two.
Okay, so you were guessing. You were just speculating. Not that you know of that there's a relationship between. Okay, so the Democracy Hub, you've put an injunction on the processes that leads to us trying to counter the foreigners who are into Galamsey, etc. They say that the foreigners should not be repatriated, so to speak.
Yes, a point of correction. Yes, an application for injunction. Some believe it's an injunction. Some believe that wait until the court pronounces.
It's just an application at this instance.
Yes, the court has made the date for 23rd for them to. I've not cited the process, but I've read bits and bits about it. See, just before we came here, I was telling somebody that when you go to Ghana Immigration Service now, there are so many, just around the corner here, there are so many Chinese in custody, and they don't have documentation to be repatriated even.
I don't understand.
Yes.
What do you mean by they don't have documentation?
When they came into Ghana, they threw their passports away. So nobody knew even where they come from. And the countries are not willing to take them back because they can't confirm that they are our nationals. And we have problems like that. Then when you also want to prosecute them and get some of these things done, it is on the cost to the nation. So what the minister said, it was way back. I don't know why they have just woken up to it. Way back that the minister said that, look, instead of prosecuting, jailing the people and keeping them here, feeding them, when we get you, let them send you away. And this was discussed to a large extent, and the minister gave all his explanations as to why he felt that we should do this. I will be slightly surprised if the court will rule in their favor, because there have been decided cases that you don't injunct state institutions from doing their work. Whether that involves a breach of a statute, that is another. But we give the minister the position to work on our behalf. Here we are complaining about the sort of situations we are finding every day. And the minister says, once we get someone, we will not spend time, get bail, wait for extradition, etc. The moment you are arrested,
so it's for want of expediency.
Yes, it's just for us to do it fast track without waiting for all these things. Sometimes these things are needed for the situation we find ourselves in. So I pray, let's wait, let's see what the outcome will be. Now, granted that they are successful and there's an injunction, what next? We got the people and we allow them to roam, go back to the field and continue doing the work? No. We need to get our act together. This Galamsey thing, everybody is complaining. About 2 weeks ago, I was called for about 18 of them that they want to appear before court. I went to meet the guys. They don't want to tell you where they come from. Where, if you get the
and this is your personal encounter as a lawyer?
My personal encounter. Where are you sending them to?
But that's deliberate, is that not?
Yes, that is why we have identified.
Do that.
Yes, so we have identified.
According to immigration laws, you can you do your renewals every 3 months.
Yes, we have identified where they come from. The moment we get you, we send you. Look, and even the extradition, the deportation, you need to get the Chinese to give them travel documents to be able to go, and all can take time. Let alone going through the court process. We want to send a clear message there. It is not a matter of you go and you will come back. No, we will put you on our stop list. You will not be able to come back.
So you're for the
for
option of
sending the people back.
Repatriation.
Exactly.
Okay. But how do we distinguish Lin Juan against Lin Gunjo? Aisha Wan, that particular case has shown that she was out, came in, same face, different name. Immigration officers just are not able to, I don't know.
I have
distinguish.
I have never been
in favor
of the school of thought that they should be taken back
Why
to
not?
their homeland. And when this whole discussion or this topic came up some time back, I said
around April.
Around April. You remember the statement I made? I said that, listen, if it were their country, they will prosecute us. They will jail us. Now, fortunately, the Minister for Lands wants to undertake land reclamation. So if they are arrested, like these 18 people, and they are found guilty of having been involved in Galamsey, it is simple. You put them in jail with hard labor. Then when the time comes for us to start the reclamation exercise and we need labor, that is cheap labor. We put them on the field. You destroyed our land. Begin to work. You understand me? When they have worked on the land reclamation for about 4 hours in the day, they would use the other 4 hours to go and farm food crop that would be used in feeding them. It is as simple as that. So we don't waste much money on them. But for us to arrest them for destroying our land.
What happens when you send them to the field and they refuse to work?
That's a Honor camera new. Camera.
You mean there's no surveillance?
The officers are there to ensure they work. And Roland will not be there, lawyer will not be there to be talking human rights plenty. We will deal with the matter there. You see, you can't come and destroy and kill us and expect to be treated like a king. So we will finish, put you on a plane and take you to homeland, just like that. I don't know the thinking that went into it and the minister took a decision that this should be done. I have read...
I think he's had copious explanations.
I've read his explanations, and to me, it is not so heavy for a debate. You understand me? If the people, see, unless otherwise we are not picturing, all right? I have always said that imaginations are stronger and mightier than knowledge. What our lawyers and others are doing is knowledge, reading and trying to do the law. But imagine the level of destruction. Imagine that, Doc, you now have a problem eating contomere.
We already do.
Just imagine that your sister goes to birth and the child has no arm. Look at the number of people who are dying because of the Galamsey activities. Just imagine these people were your family members. And use that imagination to deal with the people who are causing or doing the Galamsey.
So this is not an option?
This is not an option. They should be prosecuted here in this country, and we would use them to reclaim our land. We would use them to work.
I see. Oliver Bakavoma is joining us. He also heads the Democracy Hub. They have undertaken that injunction application. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. Well, how are you doing?
Chaladeo, long time.
I know, you should look for me.
Only I see you for TV Top. fighting for Ghana. But
you should bring me one more.
But if I did perhaps get the Interior Minister correctly or perhaps clearly, he sought to communicate that this action had been undertaken as part of the processes to make sure that we expedite, clean up. So perhaps repatriating foreigners is not bad at all. Is that a good question?
Well, I think for all of us as citizens, that we have a responsibility to audit the state and how it executes our laws and how it protects the public good. It's been part of Ghanaian folklore that one head cannot hold all the wisdom in the world. But even when government is executing laws on our behalf or acting in our best interest, there are certain times where perhaps they may not get things right. And we take a guidance of what is the right thing to do from what the law clearly says. Now, in 2006 is when we passed the Mineral Act. In 2019, the government, by its own wisdom, decided that based on conversations that were happening in the country, that wherever a non-Ghanaian was involved in acts of illegal or irresponsible mining was arrested, that individual ought to serve their sentence before we deport them. That's what the law says. It was specifically introduced in order to deal with the practice where government was now deporting foreign nationals rather than prosecute them. So the government in its own wisdom has taken this approach, an approach that we believe is consistent with the rule of law, because if you hear some of the arguments that have been advanced, that one, our prisons were full, but that has never stopped us. The fact that in Shawam is overcapacity of almost 800% of what was originally intended for has not stopped us from sending more Ghanaians into that place. Somehow it becomes a defense to, or justifies why non-Ghanaians ought to be treated differently from Ghanaians. So that's something that we think that it is fair in the rule of law, and also we think that it undermines, our national sovereignty in the way in which we view that as far as the protection of our environment goes. Perhaps we should even be quite concerned if non-Ghanaians go into the practice of destroying our environment. So the question as to whether or not this is the right approach, I think that's why we are in court, to ensure that the government gets it right.
I see. Now, so this one is just trying to interrogate, right? Not trying to say that the action or the course of action is wrong.
Yes, I mean, there's a main that we brought before the High Court. Allow the court to state categorically that this practice offends law, and for which reason it ought to be discontinued. Okay. The injunction then for us is that while this is pending, Mr. has told us at least individuals have been reported in similar circumstances, but this is pending. So that's what the interest of what is happening on Thursday that we're going to be arguing.
Okay. The action that you've undertaken is also part of, as a marketing communication person, before you launch an activity or event or a brand, you do pre-brand activation. Is it part of it? You try to, create awareness before your main, and you are a very cunning, intelligent, Cambridge-educated person. So,
no, let me say this. I mean, I think that Democracy Hub has always been interested in the holistic tools of democratic accountability that exist. We have filed petitions, a petition against Jim Mensah. We have filed lawsuits that have won in the Supreme Court. We have other lawsuits that are also currently before the Supreme Court. They are part of a holistic strategy. And it's not necessarily an avant-goût or an appetizer before the main action. This is also part of the main action in itself. So it is also just a diversification of the different ways in which you seek to hold government accountable, ultimately.
I love you for that. That response got me cracking up. I mean, that's a very swift response, so to speak. But let me just pick your mind on this. And I was speaking to Sami Dakon, who is Director for Strategy, OSP. There's a swell of public opinion against the Office of the Special Prosecutor in dealing with specific cases, i.e. we're talking Ken Ofori-Atta in this instance case. Do you think the public opinion should always be against the OSP, or do you think the OSP is just going according to its processes and so it should be given time? All right. Sorry. The line is off. All right. So, Dr. Koba, you have the last word. That option, foreigners being repatriated, somebody will say it's a good thing, I mean, so that you take them away and you reduce their numbers. Because really, they are the deciding factor. They are the disruptive factor, so to speak.
Well, I get the sense that the Honorable Minister himself is aware that the import of our law is to have them serve the sentences here, to be prosecuted here, and make sure they go through the full rigor of our laws. But I think the Honorable Minister is also aware that we are dealing with some realities on the ground. I'm not sure, I've been trying to look for it, but I remember reading somewhere that he's made some comments about the way our system allows for offenders to abuse bail conditions. And in a lot of cases, go back to doing exactly what they were in court for. And I was surprised to find out that you have Chinese nationals who are given bail in Ghana, in one region, and they go and start another project in another region. And this is happening, that they joined us in our ability as nationals to manipulate our criminal justice system and do all kinds of things with it. So it looks like this is a practical, a sensible thing to do. Something else that I heard was that I think that our government spoken to the Chinese government and that these people will be prosecuted once they get back to China. I think so. I'm not...
Some sort of arrangement.
Yes,
like
I
that.
stand to be corrected.
Okay.
If that is the case, then we are not only saving money, we are getting rid of people who are not good for our system. Again, I think that eventually, this is something that Parliament should look at. If we need to amend our laws, if we need to amend our laws to ensure that we act, in a manner that will keep us law-abiding, then we do that. Yeah.
All right. TK, you wanted to add something. I hope it's just 30 seconds.
Yes, less than 30 seconds.
Okay.
Some time back, I extended condolences to the Zongo community in Hohwe, but now we have a new imam, which I want to say congratulations. Alhaji Mohammed Malam Karami, Rashida's father, then the first deputy imam, Isa Yakub, and the second deputy, Abdullah Watara, and of course, my small boys, Olu and Isa.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
The Commercial Department of Media General has a rate.
Yes, I'm ready. Send that to me.
LPMs, live presenter mentions. In this instant case, live guest mentions. So we'll surcharge you.
But
Okay.
all
right.
The auditor general
Happy
is not
birthday
able
to you,
surcharge anybody.
Eslasi Hanyabui. God bless your new age and have a blissful birthday celebration. It's coming from Matthias Selom Ahuma. And I have a couple more of your messages. This one is coming from Money Need Money, great guy, lives in the UK, and says that since the office of the special prosecutor was established, how many people have they fully prosecuted in their cases? Yeah, you should take the OSP to court and get the documents from them. It's not as simple as that. So I also posed a question on our Facebook page, a channel, and then ask specifically that what do people make of, do they think that the OSP is being slow on the Ken Ofori-Atta case? And I had a couple of responses. I thought they were quite interesting. So before I read the next message, I'll just run you through. Capsule Gerald says, also he said, you are shouting, no, you didn't tell him anything. Okay. Empress says, we don't think so. We know he's slower than a snail. And then Desiree Marvin says, some chiefs have called him. That's why he's dragging his feet. That's what works in Ghana. Big chiefs will call you and then you slow down. Obed Kamasa says it's deliberate. They want to politicize the case so that the extradition process will be difficult as the public continues to talk about it. Money said they need to be sacked. Obviously, they are making money. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's kidnap. But thank you, gentlemen.
Would you be following up on the
we
case?
need to congratulate Nanayao
TK?
on his
Appointment.
Nasa, your position is
Deputy
General Secretary, interim, right?
Deputy.
Yes.
Deputy.
But are you going to follow up on the case that will be led by Kabiru,
Yes.
DNP?
Yes, that's UP. It has to be registered in the current the Fourth Republic, right?
No, but he's not taking the name to court. He's taking the ideology.
Okay, tomorrow I'll ask Solo about it.
Yes. That the EC has
Thank
registered their ideology for us. So.
All right, let's go. As Shadrach Abe shouting there, saying we should end. So we're ending. Thank you, gentlemen.